In Season 6, Episode 5 of The Curse of Oak Island, the Oak Island boys drilled 2 more holes in the money pit area. The core sample from the first of these holes, called HI4, contains a solid piece of diagonally aligned wooden plank which had rested somewhere between the depths of 109 and 118 feet. Geologist Terry Matheson speculates that this wood belongs to the tunnel suggested by the results of the seismic survey conducted back in Episode 1. The second hole, called IJ5.5, is drilled in close proximity to borehole GAL-1, which yielded a number of mysterious metal objects and a gold-plated military officer's button in the Season 4 finale, as well as a rose-head nail in the Season 5 premiere. IJ5.5 hits wood at a depth of 111 feet and brings up a whole vertically aligned timber. Craig Tester opines that the drill hole has intersected the side of what he calls the Shaft 6 tunnel. The story of the Shaft 6 tunnel begins in 1861, when the Oak Island Association was in charge of operations on Oak Island. That year, the association attempted to bypass the Smith's Cove flood tunnel by digging a shaft called Shaft 6, or the Oak Island Association Shaft No. 2, adjacent to the money pit and tunneling towards the point at which they believed the treasure to lie. This move was questionable, considering the experiences of their predecessors, the Onslow and Truro companies, which had both tried the same thing and had been flooded out. Unlike their ill-fated predecessors, however, the association decided to sink this new shaft 18 feet west of the money pit. The Smith's Cove flood tunnel, if it truly existed, almost certainly approached the money pit from the east. This new shaft was sunk to the depth of 118 feet without incident. From there, workers tunneled laterally towards the money pit. Much to their pleasure, the tunnel reached the pit without encountering floodwater. The circumvention was a success. With the elusive treasure nowhere to be seen, the laborers dug through the money pit to the eastern side. This decision would cost them dearly. As soon as they breached the eastern wall, water began to seep in. In no time, the money pit, the tunnel, and Shaft 6 were all flooded with seawater. After a massive bailing operation, the association men went to clear the tunnel, which had become choked with mud and clay resultant of the flooding. No sooner had they entered the tunnel, however, than according to foreman Geoff and McCulley, they heard a tremendous crash in the money pit and barely escaped being caught by the rush of mud which followed them to the west pit and filled up 7 feet in less than 3 minutes. Apparently, the tunnel that intersected the money pit had weakened the shaft's structural integrity. The money pit collapsed, dropping its supposed treasure into a chaos of mud, clay, and timber. Some researchers believe that the treasure slipped into the Shaft 6 tunnel during this collapse. As we mentioned in our analysis of Season 6, Episode 3, it seems unlikely that any searcher tunnels, including the Shaft 6 tunnel, exist today in the immediate vicinity of the original money pit, since Robert Dunfield dug a massive hole in the area measuring 100 feet in width and 140 feet in depth in the late 1960s. However, when we consider that Dunfield's pit was more of a graded crater than a uniform shaft, and allow for the possibility that the original money pit did not lie in the center of this crater, it seems possible that a small section of the Shaft 6 tunnel remained untouched. Prior to the sinking of IJ5.5, Gary Drayton discovers what appears to be a decorative badge for an 18th century French grenadier's hat. Alex Lagina remarks that this find is consistent with the Duc d'Anville theory, which Doug Crowell introduced back in Season 5, Episode 10. Unfortunately, this fascinating theory is too complex to include here and will have to be the subject of another video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and would like to read a more in-depth analysis of Season 6, Episode 5 of The Curse of Oak Island, please check out the link in the description.